Welcome back, Hardforkers, to our weekly crypto update show with the wonderful Leanne and Jesse. How are you, people?
Hello.
Interesting week. People might think there's not a lot of action sideways, Bitcoin sideways, Ethereum sideways, but we're going to show you on the show that that's not necessarily the case right across the blockchain space. But Leanne, let's kick it off with those main cryptos. What is BTC doing?
It's going to do something and something soon. So it's coiling up for a move. There's a lot of tension happening. So again, it could coil up and break to test 41, or we're going to get a big almighty, I think, flash crash down to 20K maybe, but it's going to break either way. It's ready. The energy and tension is there. So
yeah, I'm. My feeling tells me we're going to wick down very briefly. So I'm not actually in a BTC trade at the moment. Obviously, I've got my Hodl position like we all do. So yeah, a bit of a wait and see on that. But we're expecting something big soon, people. What about ETH? What do you see happening there?
ETH, as I said last week, I didn't like what I saw, and it's already, since we spoke, it hit that resistance of the wave and it's come down. So again, it could coil for a while, but if BTC rips to the downside, I would be looking at a 1200 target on ETH. So if you wanted to put some stink bids down here, layered down, if you were wanting to DCA in, then I would be putting them in these zones in the 1800, 1200, and maybe down in the 800 zone if we get a flash crash.
Just a quick plug, if you want to help support this channel, people, and you are a trader, please use our link below for BYBIT. I'm not actually in an ETH trade either. That's probably the first time we've done the show. I'm just sort of waiting and seeing there. It's also, ETH for me is a Hodl position, but picking its movement at the moment, I'm sitting on the sidelines a wee bit. Now, the other one I wanted you to have a look at for us, Leanne, was MATIC.
Yes, and I don't have amazing news for MATIC either.
No.
Yeah, it's really deep sea diving here on the charts, and for me, I've actually got some bids stacked around the 45 cent up until 60 cents, because if BTC takes another hit, also we will see this come right down to the baseline here. So again, it's a coin that I think I would like to hold some of, so that's the reason I've got some stink bids down there. And again, it's dictated by BTC, so we will have a break at some point and everything else will just follow suit. So, but at the moment it's under a lot of water pressure, so it doesn't look great and it's not tradable for me at the moment.
Okay, I still have a Hodl position in that. I'll be looking to increase that position.
Yeah, it's a good zone to increase around the 50 cent zone, I would say.
Ooh, you think it could get down there?
Absolutely. If BTC...
Do you hold any MATIC, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm staking it.
Likewise. Okay. That's rather distressing to hear that, Leanne. Let's get into some positives then. Obviously, we're all heavily involved in the Axie space. What's AXS doing today?
So AXS had its server attacked during the last few days, and they've been frantically trying to rectify the problems they've been having. And I was watching the chart very closely. It hasn't been that affected even by all the problems they're having with scholars not being able to play, or the server lagging, or Axie's not hatching. But the price, there's still a hot demand and it's still ripping to the upside. So if you're trading it, I would be cautious, and it is still a token we need for breeding, and it's a tradable asset as well. So remain cautious because of BTC, I also say.
I bought enough of it just to use for breeding, and it's skyrocketed since I bought it. Wish I'd bought it more as an investment.
Yeah, you need it for breeding, but the demand's still there for the ecosystem. So, but be mindful if BTC takes a hit.
Yeah. So just a heads up, people, if you are interested in Axie or gaming in general, join us tomorrow for our live show. Jesse, you got any more teams you're going to give away tomorrow?
I theoretically have one team I want to give away, but I'm focusing now on breeding all my virgin axes before I keep trying to give away
Yes.
teams, because I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of teams that are zero breeding, and then it's a whirlwind of.
One of my eggs hatched today, and apparently the axe is worth about $1,000, which was a great way to start the day. Moving on, could we have another token I've been calling out feverishly for a couple of weeks was the Revv token. It hit a price point that it was just, I had to buy it at 5 cents. It's keeping on moving up, Leanne. So what's the chart saying there? Is there any more upside coming?
So yeah, it looks nice. So it's broken. I had my indicator go off down here, which I wasn't watching it back at the start of July, but it's broken up out of the wave. And this is where we say it's surfing. And these are the things that we like to look for with my method. So we're surfing on top of the water now, which is great because we haven't seen that for a while. And I've just done a fib extension. So, you know, the all-time high is up at 62 cents. So also be mindful of that. And the 1.618 extension's up at around $1. So at the moment, these type of projects are the flavour, so have some targets in mind. Also work out your hodl portion and take profits along the way.
We'll have a look at some more charts in a moment, but just sort of generally here, if we're looking at the movements over the last 7 days, we've had some huge gains. Gala up 100%. I believe you run a Gala node, Jesse.
I do indeed, and let's be honest. I think that the reason that you're talking about, wow, look at AXS is up, wow, look at Revv is up, wow, look at Gala is up. We're talking about play to earn here, right? And I think in a world where people are uncertain about what the worth or the point is to a lot of this crypto, you see actual use cases with these play to earn things where people are making money and feeding their families on a weekly basis. Well, it couldn't be more cut and dry for me. It's like, there you go. I mean, like, that's the one thing that we're sure is not only making money, but looks like it will continue to make more money for people, both rich and poor.
Yeah,
no-brainer.
absolutely. That space, it was actually in the doldrums there for a while, but it's really taken off again. I think a lot of the institutional investors are obviously really now properly looking at where the adoption is happening, and we're just seeing huge growth, especially in the gaming space, NFTs as well.
So here's the Gala chart. This is on Uniswap. And, I mean, again, I haven't kept my eye on this one, but I know, Jesse, you have been, and you'll talk about that in a moment. We had an entry down here. It was well below the wave. So usually when this happens, there's a lot of resistance. So it might struggle a bit around the 3 cent area, I would say, because it's had a lot of pressure to break through. But it's definitely one to, if you're hodling, there's some nice targets up there that I've just put in on the fib extensions. You've got 4 cents and up at 6 cents. But if you're hodling, you might have much higher targets than that. If it's tradable, be careful around the 3 cent area and take some profits along the way in these zones I've marked out.
Tell us about Gala, Jesse.
It was a daunting concept because at the time it was something like $7,500 worth of Ethereum to buy a Gala node. It's a scary prospect to purchase something of that price when all you're receiving is a daily amount of, let's say, about 800 Gala tokens plus the occasional NFT drop. But the reason that I got into Gala nodes, I've been into gaming for most of my youth, and when I got into crypto, I definitely believed that a sure bet for the future for making money would be gaming. And you don't have to be a gamer to believe that gaming is a massive breadwinner and will be such in the crypto space. And if you look at Gala, it's actually the creators of Gala are the people who started Zynga Gaming, so the Zynga Poker and Farmville and stuff like that, which are just, back in the day, they were like just insane, like the powerhouses. Even to this day, Zynga is huge. But Gala, they're set to have kind of like really fun, groundbreaking games on their network. They've already got Townstar, which is kind of like the the new Farmville. It's really beautiful, like visually pleasing on the eye. But some of these new games that are coming out now, like they have this Fortified, which is an amazing tower defense game, which I personally actually love playing tower defense games. Where I think anyone who's even just a mild gamer has experienced this act of placing your towers to defend oncoming hordes of people. But this time it will be a player versus player online system. They have this other game called Mirandus, which to me looks exactly like Blizzard's World of Warcraft. And if anyone knows World of Warcraft, that was a game that made kids and adults alike obsessed.
Have you ever been addicted to gaming, Jesse?
I would play games where there was a beginning and an end. And I think where the gaming companies really can get people is where there's essentially no real end.
Yeah.
You can just keep growing as this character, as this avatar, as this hero, as this other personality. And I think that's why I'm saying that I have a good kind of foresight with Gala. They look like they're looking for the long game, with making not just quality addictive games, but games that have this tendency to build and grow and kind of keep you buying in and investing in, because you personally want your personality in this universe to become bigger and stronger, while the personality in the real world doesn't seem to have any chance to do so, because you're not allowed to fucking leave your house. And so why not become a knight in shining armor with the coolest, forgery and the biggest kingdom in the clan and all the women and everything that else, and your farm is growing crops and you're just a badass, and you're earning money. You're earning Gala tokens.
Yeah.
You're earning other cryptocurrencies.
I actually reached out to them yesterday to invite them to come on the show. So hopefully they do that. Just a heads up, we've been working with Nine Chronicles, helping grow that community. From a investment point of view, people, that token isn't on exchanges as yet, but you can mine it. I can't give you financial advice, but I think it was pretty prudent for you to go and have a look into the risk reward on that one at the moment. I think it's a fantastic team behind that project. It's truly decentralized. They're they're not shilling, trying to get you to buy all sorts of things left, right, and center like a lot of the other gaming projects are. So check out Nine Chronicles. You can be very early to the punch there. Leanne, you're a gamer now.
Yes.
You've got Axies.
I would like to pimp my Axies though. If I could make them all glittery and
There's a difference between a gamer and a manager too, right?
Yeah, well, this is true. I'm not a true gamer. I love managing and getting into the space, so I've really enjoyed it. So I thank you both for pushing me into it.
I guess the message here from me is you don't have to be a gamer to get in here and learn about the space and invest in it. Not financial advice.
I'm living proof. I'm living proof.
Exactly. Yeah. And, look, when you consider that there's 2.5 billion gamers on this planet, the revenue from gaming is more than movies and music combined. Now with blockchain, we've got ways to monetize this with the play to earn boom. So you may have missed the boat on Axie, or may feel like you have, but there's a ton of other great projects out there, people. So get in there and check it out.
That's the thing. I'm seeing players paying their rent. I'm seeing managers paying their rent. I'm seeing players play along enough that they start to learn how to be managers. I see managers becoming millionaires. I see a lot.
One of our scholars in Venezuela sent us a video yesterday with his new car that he got from earning SLP.
And the thing is, I am not a gamer. I'm not interested in it. Never have been. But I'm really good at exploring ideas, problem solving. I was fascinated with the breeding process, and getting, there was an art to that almost as well. I'm really good at managing because I used to be a teacher. So I've really enjoyed that part of the process, and am looking out for other games that potentially I can do the same thing with.
It's maybe becoming a bit harder as an entry level thing. At this point, just due to the cost of both Axies, SLP, and AXS rising. So look out for the new games.
So moving on here, people. Obviously, I'm slightly distressed looking at that MATIC chart.
Why? Why would you be distressed?
Because I got a bunch of it, and it was at 270. It's now down under $1.
But what?
trading
What?
or
No, it's a hodl position.
So then,
I believe
why
in.
on earth would you be distressed?
Wow. Don't sweat it.
I was trying to be
Don't
dramatic for
sweat
the
it.
segue into the next portion of the show.
Well, don't promote illogical distress.
Okay, I'm not distressed about MATIC.
Oh, I'm really
It
scared
is a
for the crowd.
It's
I'm
a
scared.
Layer 2 technology. Speaking of Layer 2 technologies, people, this I found extremely interesting. The number of nodes has doubled in the last 3 months. So Lightning is gaining a lot of adoption here. It is something that we will cover. I wrote many articles on it back in 2017 and nothing really seemed to happen. But Elizabeth Stark and her crew are clearly going great guns at the moment if we look at this growth here. Now, obviously, Lightning is going to be the layer 2 for Bitcoin. So we are going to have a look at how this potentially will affect the price in the shows coming up. For me, where I find this quite interesting is that if people start using Bitcoin, the velocity of money increases and how that will in fact affect the price of an asset that appreciates in value because of supply and demand. No one's spending it, you're locking it away. So that'll be fascinating to understand that metric. We'll get some experts on to talk us through that. Circling back around to what we were talking about in the gaming and NFT space, another example. The Paris Fashion Week, we've got these high-end brands that are coming into the non-fungible token space now. The list just gets bigger and bigger and bigger in the NFT space. So obviously we mentioned Axie, the NFTs there. We've looked at Revv NFTs. Now we've got fashion. So obviously all these in-game wearable pieces of art this is something that is just growing and growing and growing. Any thoughts on the overall sort of NFT space and what you guys are seeing there?
I get excited when you brought that article up this morning because it's when you get luxury brands on board with stuff like this, it's a snowball effect of people. What can they do with it? Then let's see what the mid-range brands can do with it. So it's exciting. It's cool.
I'm still wrapping my head around the full, overall concept of NFTs. Well, I understand what they are. I'm still trying to understand the importance level of different types of NFTs. For instance, I'm well aware that, one NFT could have, caveats and all kinds of bonuses attached to it. So if you buy an NFT, you could receive brand new shoes, or you might be able to be a part of a tennis team, or interesting stuff like that, right? But then you could also have an NFT which doesn't have any perks attached. In other words, someone can mint an NFT of their painting, and say, here's the NFT version of this art, and if you buy it, you own that NFT. But then you realize, there's no perk or anything attached to that. Is that a problem, or what makes that NFT, valuable if there's no perk attached?
Yeah.
Well, an NFT is effectively just a digital property right. It's a one-of-a-kind token. It's ownership of. So, example, if you bought Jesse.com, that effectively is an NFT. That web address, that's a piece of digital property that you own. So you can consider a website an NFT also.
I was thinking about house design in the future. You will now. What does a digital NFT look like if I bought a piece of artwork, or if I bought a Paris Fashion Week, there was a designer dress and the only way I could get my hands on it was this 3D digital spinning woman on a catwalk. Having that in my house in a life-size digital version, what will houses look like to accommodate these? They're going to have things built into the wall because it's ugly to hang a TV with cords and things. So it just opens itself up to houses being designed in different ways as well to have these artworks.
Absolutely, Leanne. I mean, we're actually seeing a lot of that sort of not transition, but the those physical NFTs as well. I mean, obviously it's primarily a digital innovation. So we're going to be living in these virtual worlds, and your digital property, you're going to be hanging up your art in that little space. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like the world's going back to how it used to be anytime soon. So I think these online communities, how we're living in digital worlds, are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I need a digital husband or a digital wife.
Oh, that's
in COVID
that's
times.
easy. We can get you one. I'll be your digital pimp.
Absolutely. So any other sort of news of interest from you guys at the moment?
Just the Spike Lee.
Oh yeah,
thing,
let's check
I
that out.
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
Our currency is not current. Old money, as rich as it looks, is flat out broke. Don't believe me? I got the receipts. We call it green, but it's only white. Where's the women, the black folks, and the people of color? Native Americans got a nickel. A nickel!
A few moments later.
So yeah, I can't, to a certain degree, I think that maybe missed the trick a wee bit. But it's just another example of crypto going mainstream here. A guy like Spike Lee fronting this. Last week we saw Crypto.com sponsoring the UFC now. We got more professional athletes taking salaries and crypto, having their own NFTs. I mean, our tagline for this channel is crypto culture. So how, for you guys, we've been in the space a similar amount of time. How are you sort of seeing the culture of crypto evolve here?
If you have any mention of crypto in the mainstream media or culture or whatever, that's obviously a good thing, right? But it is also dangerous. For instance, let's say with Spike Lee, I want to know, how involved is he in crypto? What is his sentiment about it? What is his education about it? Obviously, he must have had to educate himself, but what we don't see in that is does he have some sort of political or agenda?
Yeah.
What is his main goal in all this? Is it to unbiasedly spread information just to inform people and inform the public and just look at it from an outside view? Or is there another reason? And is there anything nefarious?
Yeah, the clip's a bit, it's really pretty to look at, but it's a little bit ambiguous.
So yeah, crypto culture. I mean, let's sort of wrap up today with our thoughts around that. I mean, Jesse, when we came into the space in 2016, we decided to start Hardforking because there was just hardly any media that was understandable out there. It was some highly technical Bitcoiners I used to follow, and that was about it.
Yeah.
There's obviously been an explosion in the crypto media space, most of it absolute dog shit. But really, for me, the culture here, most people are still sort of lumping it into one thing. They know of Bitcoin, but really, as we all know, we're just seeing these explosions, these pools of value being created across blockchain, gaming, and DeFi, Bitcoin. They're all very, very different things with very different cultures, very different communities. It's a fascinating space that is just absolutely booming. So when anyone tells you that crypto is in a bear market, as we just showed, there's different pockets that, not everything is moving in tandem like it used to. We're seeing 50% gains in some of those tokens today while Bitcoin and Ethereum are going backwards. So interesting times. It's fragmenting, thank God.
Yeah, I think if people use the comparison of the early days of the internet with cryptocurrency. Yep. The more they use that analogy, the more it becomes kind of a reality.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I still think the overall market is very tied to what we're seeing from traditional equities. If the S&P is having a bad day, crypto is still typically having a bad day. when we finally have the bubble burst on the traditional markets, that to me is where we finally decouple, I would hope and think. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Taking us out this week on Hardforking, let's get busy with mathematics. Take it away, Jesse.
Got you when I'm free.